We think of cooking as a basic human right. Every single day you turn a knob and a flame appears. But for 99% of human history, there were no stoves, no ovens, and no fire. Imagine waking up in a world where everything you consume is freezing cold, incredibly tough, or actively trying to poison you. No roasted meat, no boiled potatoes, just raw, gritty reality. Yet, somehow, in this brutal environment, our ancestors did something scientists say should have been physically impossible. Without a single spark of fire, their brains began to rapidly grow. According to the strict laws of biology, this sudden brain expansion should have killed them from sheer starvation. So, how did they bypass the laws of nature? The secret lies in a bizarre, high-calorie powerhouse food that modern humans today would find absolutely stomach-turning. We'll reveal exactly what this forbidden superpower food was in just a moment. But first, to understand how they even ate it, we have to look at a terrifying physical reality about the ancient human body that a modern doctor would mistake for a medical mutation. If you tried to eat a completely raw diet in the wild today, your body would fail within weeks. Your jaw would literally lock up by lunchtime. This is because our ancestors possessed what anthropologists call the robustness factor. Their jaws were heavy-duty biological meat grinders, and their molars were twice as wide as yours, coated in thick enamel designed to pulverize raw wild plants, bark, and roots for hours every single day. But it wasn't just their teeth. Look lower. They had giant, heavily flared midsections because digesting raw plant cellulose requires a massive fermentation chamber. They needed huge guts just to process low-quality food. But here is the ultimate evolutionary paradox. In nature, you can have a big gut or you can have a big brain, but you cannot have both. Both are massive energy vampires. This is known as the expensive tissue hypothesis. A primate brain demands a staggering 20% of the body's daily calories. On a diet of raw leaves and berries, there simply aren't enough hours in the day to chew enough calories to fuel a brain like ours. A gorilla, for example, has to spend 8.5 hours every single day just chewing to sustain its body, leaving zero energy for higher intelligence. So, how did humans break the evolutionary speed limit? How did we shrink our guts and grow our brains before we had fire to cook our food? It turns out, our ancestors stopped looking at the trees and started looking at the carnage left behind by monsters. Around 2.6 million years ago, humans weren't the kings of the savannah. We were the bottom feeders. We couldn't outrun a lion and we couldn't wrestle a leopard. But we had a secret weapon, technology. When a saber-toothed cat finished eating, the lions took the rest. By the time humans arrived, the carcass was stripped completely bare, nothing but bones. To any other animal, this was useless garbage, but to humans, it was a gold mine. Using jagged, heavy stone hand axes, our ancestors did something no other predator could do. They violently smashed those massive leg bones open. Inside was a glistening, deep red, fatty paste. This is the forbidden superpower food, raw bone marrow. Because it was trapped inside heavy limb bones, it was completely protected from bacteria, flies, and predators. And biologically, marrow is a caloric jackpot, the original high-fat energy bar of the ancient world. By switching to raw marrow and scavenging raw brains, humans finally unlocked high-density calories. The gut didn't have to work hard to ferment plants anymore, allowing the body to redirect all that metabolic energy straight to the head. But this raw meat diet came with a terrifying catch. Raw meat rots incredibly fast under the African sun, teeming with deadly bacteria. Without fire to sterilize it, eating the wrong piece of flesh meant an agonizing death. So, how did they survive the poison? The definitive answer was discovered only recently, locked inside a 1.2 million-year-old fossilized tooth. For decades, scientists fiercely debated whether these pre-fire humans sneakily used fire without leaving a trace. We finally got our answer when archaeologists discovered an ancient hominin jawbone in Spain. Inside the fossilized dental plaque, literally the hardened tooth dirt of our ancestors, was a perfect time capsule of their last meal. When scientists analyzed the plaque under a microscope, they found 0 traces of charcoal and 0 ash. Instead, they found microfossils of completely raw animal tissue, uncooked starch granules from wild grasses, and fragments of insects. They were eating everything completely raw, straight out of the mud, but eating completely raw meant major limitations. Massive underground starchy tubers, the ancestors of our modern potatoes, were completely useless to them. Raw starch is virtually indigestible to a human stomach. Even worse, raw meat requires an immense amount of physical energy to chew. Because they couldn't cook, a massive portion of the Earth's calories were completely locked behind a biological safe. Humans were trapped in a tight survival bottleneck. And then the ultimate revolution happened, a discovery that changed our anatomy forever. When Homo erectus finally tamed fire, it wasn't just a tool for warmth, it became an external stomach. Cooking acts as a pre-digestion process. It breaks down tough collagen fibers in meat, and it gelatinizes complex starches in plants, making them soft and instantly digestible. Suddenly, the biological safe was blown wide open. Studies show that cooking increases the calories we absorb from starch by 35% and from protein by a staggering 78%. Cooking unlocked a massive wave of energy that our ancestors never had access to before. Over generations, our jaws shrank, our teeth became smaller, and our intestines shortened because the fire was doing the heavy lifting for us. Every single physical trait that makes you human today, your small face, your flat stomach, and your massive complex brain, is a direct gift from the moment we stopped eating raw. The next time you turn on your stove, take a second to look at the flame. You aren't just making dinner. You are participating in the exact multi-million-year-old miracle that made us human. Could you survive a week on the pre-fire human diet? Let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into our hidden past.